Somewhere in Mexico near the US border, Bryant lives in a small van. He works as a construction worker, and every morning he hones his skills in martial arts. High school student Oscar secretly watches the master and repeats his every move, dreaming of one day becoming a professional fighter. After class, Oscar heads home. When he is approached by several local thugs from the L-17 gang led by Flaco, the hooligans tell the boy to get into their car, but he flatly refuses and hides from them around the corner, and Bryant accidentally sees everything that is happening from the window of the diner. In the evening, Flaco and his buddies crash into Oscar's house and accuse him of disrespecting the local brothers. It turns out that Oscar's older brother Hector is the local leader of the L-17 gang. But now he is away, and the younger brother tries to avoid the rest of the gang by all means, especially Flaco, who constantly humiliates him. The next morning, Bryant notices Oscar, who again repeats his every move and not thinking long approaches the guy. The high school student asks to teach him to fight, and Bryant agrees, seeing good potential in the young man. For several months, the man trains Oscar and teaches him an unusual fighting style, which he has been creating for years, taking the best of several martial arts. One day, Hector's older brother Oscar and local leader L-17 returns to town and feels that Bryant is not who he says he is. After all, he reeks of the police. Hector persistently advises his brother to stay away from the man, and the young man does not dare to contradict his older brother, goes to the local martial arts gym and asks the administrator Marisol to sell him a season ticket for a couple of months in advance. One evening, all the members of L-17 go to the underground fights without rules, where one of the most formidable fighters is a cruel collector who has long known no defeat in fights. Collector playfully defeats his opponent in the next fight, when suddenly for all Oscar declares that he is ready to enter the fight with the bully. No one believes in the victory of the high school student, but he shows in the ring amazing skill and cool techniques, which he was taught by Bryant. So the undefeated collector is knocked out in just a few minutes. Oscar makes a good score, and the video of the spectacular fight quickly goes viral on the internet. The next day, Hector comes to Bryant and asks him to continue teaching his brother martial arts for a good reward, as he has already shown his skills and can become a real professional in the ring. Bryant flatly refuses, as he was only trying to teach the young man to stand up for himself. Then Hector tries to threaten him with a gun, but the owner snatches the gun in a split second and tells the bandits never to come here again. Eventually, the video of Oscar's fight catches the eye of Piero's lawyer, who immediately rushes to show it to his key client Sony, a powerful mob boss who is currently in jail. Sony quickly realizes that Oscar could only be trained to fight by one man, Bryant, whom he has a grudge against for a long time, and tells the lawyer to send his best assassins to the Mexican town. A few days later, Oscar and Hector are approached at the gym by two Colombian twin brothers, Ivan and Vlad, who state that they are looking for new talented fighters for bare-knuckle fighting. The twins ask about the whereabouts of Bryant, who they believe trained the very talented Oscar. But Hector senses a catch and tells the Colombian to piss off. As the two leave, Hector declares that they look more like assassins than promoters. Oscar realizes that Bryant is in grave danger and convinces his brother to go to his van immediately. Once there, Oscar tells Bryant about the Colombians, who immediately realizes that they are dangerous assassins and tells the high school students to hide in his armored van with Marisol. Bryant turns out to be right. The twins appear and shoot two of Hector's underlings in cold blood. Oscar, Hector, and Marisol manage to hide in the well-protected van, and Bryant runs in after them. The host explains that in the past he was an undercover cop and helped put the powerful mobster Sony behind bars. However, the gangster manages to do his dirty deeds even from prison. He somehow figured out Bryant's whereabouts and sent assassins to him. The master tells the others to wait for him inside, and he himself gets out through a secret exit and stealthily sneaks up on one of the twins. He kills him with a crossbow. Bryant then pounces on the second Colombian and disarms the formidable foe in an epic battle. Bryant douses the hitman with gasoline and tells him to give up his employer. But he not only refuses to talk, but also sets himself on fire with a lighter, knowing full well that he will not be allowed to leave here alive. Sure that there are other killers hanging around, Bryant leads the trio out of the van through a secret underground passage. Along the way, Bryant explains to his companions that they had better stay away from him, as he is being hunted by Sonny, one of the most powerful mobsters in America. After sending the gangster to jail, Bryant had to hide his wife in another country and hide in Mexico. Realizing that Sonny will never leave him alone now, Bryant tells his companions to go home and keep their heads down, and returns to his van, where a few minutes later several armed police officers arrive and tell him to go outside with his hands in the air. The experienced fighter quickly realizes that Sonya's disguised henchman is in front of him and methodically massacres all the opponents, leaving them no chance of survival. After that, Bryant cleans up the mess and disappears in an unknown direction. And of course, this failure does not suit Sonny, who orders his friend Alex to capture Hector and by any means to get information about the whereabouts of his blood enemy out of him. Hector has no idea where the man is hiding. Alex then orders him to cut off his ear. However, the bandits do not have time to do this, as Bryant appears and starts to cut them out one by one, using firearms and cold weapons. Bryant turns the bodies of his opponents into a bloody mess. Until he and the bound Hector are the only ones left in the clearing, Bryant frees the prisoner, who can't believe that one man has just defeated an entire army. At the same time, Oscar and Marisol are unsuccessfully trying to find Bryant when several armed men in SWAT uniforms suddenly appear. The boy tries to fight them back when one of them suddenly removes his mask and introduces himself as Eric, Bryant's former colleague from the police station. Eric claims that he wants to protect his friend and asks Oscar and Marisol to help find him. Already sitting in the cop's car, Oscar realizes that something is amiss and discreetly informs Bryant on the phone, just because Eric is looking for him. And the fighter immediately realizes that the guy and the girl are in serious danger, since Eric is actually a traitor who fell for the dirty money of the mafia, framed Bryant, and went over to Sonya's side. Soon Eric brings Oscar and Marisol to the mansion of local mobster Valdez, Sonya's longtime friend and partner. The gangsters are about to lure Bryant into their territory to finally get even with him. The thugs force Oscar to call Bryant for help. Bryant and Hector, realizing that they will be ambushed in the mansion, decide to take the most experienced members of the L-17 gang with them on a dangerous mission to free the hostages. The team fights their way to the well-defended mansion, suffering serious casualties on both sides. Bryant and Hector manage to get in through the back door, killing the bandits guarding it. The experienced fighter once again shows his incredible abilities and kills opponents one by one, confidently making a bloody path to his goal. At the same time, Oscar and Marisol manage to free themselves from the ropes holding them down, grabbing Eric's weapon and severely wounding him with a precise shot. Soon Bryant runs into the room and helps the boy to get out. In parallel, having dealt with the remaining scumbags, Sonny, learning about another failure, becomes furious, not yet realizing that Bryant and his comrades were able to penetrate the prison and are going to put a fat in his criminal career. What did you think of the movie As Good as Dead? Share in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you soon.